You know, I think I have affectionately been called a dumbass by every United Church minister I've ever met. At least once, sometimes more. In a couple of cases every time I've seen them. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. I get to serve in the wonderful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, the beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the fantastic parish of Church Shelburne that sits on the unceded and the ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And today I want to talk to you about how I take a vacation. Because it seems like it's a bone of contention for some of my colleagues. They don't necessarily see how the things that I do on vacation could be construed as restful. If you've been following this channel for the last few weeks, you know that I did take some time away. I was in Miramichi. I had the whole German bakery experience. I recorded videos on the shores of the Miramichi River. It was wonderful. And people ask me, well, how can you say you're on vacation if you're still recording? Well, the truth is, while I'm on vacation, I wrote and recorded several reflections. I had a chance to sit down and do some reading, and I had a chance to sit and write, work on a couple of the plays that I'm working on. I sat down and arced out the draft of a plot, of a story arc for a book I want to write. I got to work in the yard. I got to work over on a piece of ground that the parish owns. These are things that I actually really, really enjoy doing as part of my vacation. It still feels like work to some people, but to me, these are life-giving. And they're life-giving because I think I'm a creative person. And so engaging in creative activities, it gives me life. There's an old saying, the person who loves what they do will never work a day in their life. And I believe it. I do. I genuinely believe that to be true. When you love what you do, it's not work. It's life-giving. Now listen, there are absolutely times where you just need to take a day, you need to take time, and you need to be away from everything, and you need to do things that are completely different. But the whole point that I really want to talk about today is not necessarily a Sabbath, though I think I've done a video on the Sabbath. What I want to talk about is the possibilities that are out there for you and I if every day we went to work, we were doing the things that we loved to do. If every day we went to work was like a vacation where you were doing the things that you would most wish to do, what would your life be like? See, most of us, and I feel this way myself from time to time, doing the work of a rector, doing the work of a priest, which is a great deal of administration work that I'm here in my parish. I'm really super fortunate that I've got a great parish council and a great executive that is able to handle that work, because I'm not very good at it. I do not like it very much. It drags me. It drags the energy. It sucks the energy right out of me. But many of us, we have these jobs where we are basically renting our time to the person that's paying our paycheck. We basically walk in, punch our card, and for the next 8 to 10 hours that day, we're doing something that we're not incredibly happy about doing, but it's paying the bills. We're renting our time. It's not life-giving. When that time is gone, it's gone. We don't have anything in those 8 to 10 hours that we can look back on and say, wow, I cherish the time I spent doing that work. So how do we do it? It's a great question, and I suspect there's volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes and millions of words written on it. One of the things you can do is reprioritize your life. Look at what it is you're paying for, why you're renting so much of your time to someone for this labor, and cut some of those expenses. Get rid of the things that you don't need, because those things that you are renting your time for are actually cutting into the time you have. It's actually cutting into the time you have available to do the things that you truly love. So you can reprioritize your life, reduce the things that you don't need, which will help you reduce the amount of time you have to rent to an employer, and that will allow you to focus more on doing the things that you love to do, spending that time doing the things you love to do, the things that give you life. The other thing I think that is key is changing our perception of what it is we have to do, especially those things that we do that we don't like doing, but are still part of our job, still part of our day-to-day, still part of our life. These are the things that we feel completely get in the way of us being the person that we're supposed to be. If we can change our perception of those things, and instead of seeing them as burdens, seeing them as opportunities, seeing them as the means to an end, these are the things that we have to do so that we can go on to do the things we love to do, seeing them as things that are helping us develop discipline, helping us develop strength, helping us develop endurance and perseverance, seeing them instead of as burdens, as paths, as instead of seeing them as barriers, seeing them as part of the journey. This is actually something that I believe Marcus Aurelius writes about, that the barrier is the path, that the challenge is the opportunity. If we can do that, then we can shift our perception, we can shift our understanding. And when we shift that understanding, we can all of a sudden feel ourselves being rewarded in unexpected ways. And those things that we loathe become life-giving. They're getting us closer to what we dream of. They're making us better at doing the things we love so that we can enjoy the things we love even more. These are just a couple of thoughts that I have on this particular topic. I am not an expert, but it is something that I'm really batting around inside my head. How do we live our lives like we're on vacation? How do we live our lives so that we're doing the things we love most often? May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may you know the peace of being in God's presence. And I pray that every day you're able to journey a little bit closer to being that person you want to be, that person that God made you to be. Amen.